Hi, how are you? I'm doing pretty good today. And today, just now, I saw a video that Jax Films posted. I watch his videos from time to time, and this video just popped up on my For You page. And it's this very short video of him talking about how he went to get his hair cut, and he heard AI music being played at the hair salon, the barber shop that he went to. By the way, I am currently playing a game. This is totally an ad for this game because I really like it. It's so fun. I just love this style of games. It reminds me of another one I played. But my character is running from point A to point B, and it's gonna take 11 minutes and 34 seconds. So I will try to finish this video before then. The thing that I want to talk about even before, but I didn't know how to start this, is how AI is infiltrating our lives, not just on, phones, just AI generated ads or videos or music or whatever, but it's in our daily lives. I've been wanting to talk about this quite a bit because it's been bothering me quite a lot, and this is a little bit emotional. But I've actually been heavily affected by this, and if my family hears this, they're gonna think, this sounds ridiculous, what are you talking about? You've been majorly affected. People are majorly affected by wars and famine, and you're being majorly affected by AI generated videos on YouTube. But to me, this is very serious because it is rare now at this point that I can have a day without somebody saying something about ChatGPT or mentioning ChatGPT, especially certain members of my family. Not everybody is like this in my family. Well, I've only got 4 people other than me, my parents and my siblings, but all of them use AI to various degrees. I don't. I'll admit, I used to use it before for certain things, but the more I started seeing how bad it is for just like everything, the less I wanted to use it, and I have not used it in a very long time, and I don't ever plan to because it is ridiculous how bad it's gotten. And even though I expressed my disdain for this garbage that has existed, my family members, they don't care. If I act upset, if I seem to have a sour face when somebody brings up, oh, I asked ChatGPT about my symptoms and it said, I might have cancer. So. And they seem upset at me for being upset. I don't want to talk to them about it, even though I have talked to them about it, to no avail. It's just been stupid arguments that have led to nothing, and they don't seem to understand my reasons to be upset at this. To switch to a happier note, the reason that I want to make this video is to share some things that have been upgrading my life that are not related to anything AI generated, but everything that is human made. It's basically kind of an ad for things that I like that are not involving any kind of AI. And I'm mainly talking about generative AI here, used in video games, movies, just videos on YouTube, art, just anything like that, or books too, or audiobooks. I actually gotta mention this. I read my brother gave me this book, which I really enjoyed. Rita Hayworth and Shawshank Redemption. Wow, what a book. And I also watched the movie basically right after I finished the book. I highly recommend it. I like Stephen King's stories. They're pretty good. Really love it. It's kind of hard to see. You can't really see it over here, but if I lift my camera, that is between Lex Luthor and Victor Tsoi, that is Andy Dufresne, who is I forgot the actor's name, but he is the guy from Shawshank Redemption. the main character, basically. There's kind of two main characters, the narrator and Andy. So now that we're talking about books, I first want to go over some books that I really love that are 100% not involving any AI as far as I know. Well, I mean, obviously not Shawshank Redemption because that is pre-AI, that predates it. So I just want to go over some of my favorite works, and then we'll go from books to movies to games to whatever, anything. And also I have a topic for a different video that is also kind of in this niche. But yeah, let's start with books. I'll probably pick out some of the books from my shelf and we'll see how this goes. I'm gonna put my iPad away over here so that it's not in the way. But yes, I already told you about Shawshank Redemption. I'm not gonna say Rita Hayworth and Shawshank Redemption, but it is a very good book, very popular too. And the movie Shawshank Redemption, if you look on IMDb, I'm pretty sure it's the #1 movie on IMDb, which is totally fair because it is a very, very good film. I really like it. I think it was pretty accurate to the book too. They changed a few things. For example, the actor that plays the narrator, for fair reasons, because Stephen King sometimes has a choice vocabulary. Instead of being a pale ginger guy, Red is played by Morgan Freeman. Freeman. Get it? Because it's about a prison. Anyway, there's a funny moment in the movie where, I'm not gonna spoil it, but there's a joke about Red not being red-haired. It's funny. We'll move on to the next book. I really don't want to spoil this too much. I'm pretty sure most people already know what this is, so we'll just go on. Obviously, a classic. There's also another classic that I really want to talk about, which I don't have at the moment. My friend has it. Ooh, there's a bit of dust flying around. Did you guys notice that there's way less dust in my room than there was like a year ago? So much better. I don't know what happened. I just started vacuuming, I guess. But anyway, Moby Dick. That right there? That... Here, let me move the camera again. Huzzah. Yes. That is Moby. It is a white whale. This is also a very, like, famous book. If you haven't heard of it, I'm very surprised and very sad because it is very good. And it's fairly easy to read. It's so interesting. The plot is basically... It's very well known, and it's been reiterated in different versions and reinterpretations and parodies. But there's this captain who is hunting a whale, who he tried to hunt before, but the whale escaped. And so this narrator, his name is... Oh, I can't believe I forgot his name. He literally says it in the very beginning. Call me Ishmael. That's what the book starts with. Call me Ishmael. So the narrator, Ishmael, he joins this crew who are going after this whale. And the story is about revenge. And it is... Yeah, I'm definitely not finishing this in time. But it's fine. The story is about revenge and how revenge is not worth it. That it's best to let go sometimes. Sometimes it's not worth fighting for things like this. And the whale kind of represents this, like, the trouble that comes with going after revenge and being mad, trying to finish a task that you definitely cannot do. I didn't actually finish reading this. I ran out of time. I read it for honors, for English. That was my project, actually, for honors. And I will finish it eventually. This book was actually given to me by my teacher, whom I borrowed it from, and then he gave it to me because he was leaving the school and he decided to donate some of his books, and I was like, oh, I need this one. It is also one of his favorite books. Next one is a very new one I got, and Edgar Allan Poe, he was born in 1809, 200 years before I was born. This is a book that I bought when I went to Salem. I don't know if I really talked about my trip to Salem, but it was very good. I loved it. Salem was so beautiful. Salem, Massachusetts, you know, the witch burning town. And obviously they had this book in one of their stores along with a book by Victor Wind, which I for some reason didn't buy. Maybe one day. I didn't realize he had a book, and it was a book of fairy tales that are like, you know, Grimm's fairy tale sort of thing, is like dark folklore. Very entertaining, but we're not talking about Victor Wind. If you don't know who Victor Wind is, I talk about him, I'm pretty sure, in my London video where I went to London, so that's cool. I didn't realize he wrote or compiled stories or whatever he did. But Edgar Allan Poe, everybody knows Poe. This is another classic. This is a collection of his stories. I read, I think 4 so far, or 5 actually. Maybe. And it includes The Mask of the Red Death, which I have read at school. It is a very good story. One of my favorites. Another one of my favorites that I have read so far was Berenice. And also the very first one here is, I'm not gonna pronounce this right, Metzengerstein. That was so bad. It also has The Cask of Amontillado, so very nice collection of stories. The cover, oh so beautiful. Look at that, it's gilded, and the side too, and this on the back, very pretty. Next book, obviously, if you guys have been on my channel long enough, you probably know what this is. Love the smell of old books, it's so enchanting. But this is a kid's book, full of, well, it's called Heroes of Asgard. If you don't know what this book is, it's a very old book, of a collection of kids' stories. Well, it's Norse mythology rewritten to be more, like, not kid-friendly necessarily, but easier for kids to comprehend, which is ridiculous because I'm not sure a lot of kids nowadays would know these words. Not to be like this generation. When I was a toddler, I read the freaking Shakespeare. No, that didn't happen. Next thing, oh my goodness, if you recognize this face, you know what book I'm holding up. Brian Jacques Salamander Strawn. Not Salamander Strawn specifically. I started reading this book. I feel really guilty because this book is part of a series called Redwall. There's also a cartoon, pretty sort of old cartoon, kind of the Watership. Is it Watership Down or Town? But it has that same art style, and this is a very beautiful, whimsical collection of stories, very wholesome, so just cozy and magical. Just, I love it. Basically, it is a series about these mice, these moles, these other woodland creatures, squirrels, etc., badgers, that live in this abbey called the Redwall Abbey, and they're living as peaceful. They're peaceful creatures, though they do have warriors, but it doesn't start out with having warriors. That happens later on, but in the very beginning, they're very peaceful. They don't know how to fight. Although this series isn't written, like the very first book is not about like the start of Redwall Abbey. It's kind of all mishmashed, just out of order. But I got this series after I read either the 11th or 12th book, Legend of Luke, and I really loved that one because I, as a kid, I loved, and I still do, books about animals, woodland creatures, critters, all that kind of stuff, especially when they can walk and talk. That's really awesome, especially if they're in like medieval times and they can fight with swords and stuff. It is so cool. And if you have kids, or if you are a kid, or if you're not a kid, and you haven't read these, or if you have read these and you want to reminisce, definitely read this series. I got it a very long time ago, and I'm still on Salamander Strawn, and I feel really bad because I love these books, but it takes me a while to read them. It is the 5th book of this series. I can't believe after all these years I'm still on the 5th book. Well, to be fair, I've had more to read. Next one is crazy lawsuit stories. I love law related things. It's fun. And these are just it's a collection of funny, interesting lawsuit stories, obviously. There's not much to it. I got it for Christmas from the Danny. Thanks, Danny. Next and last book in the stack. I'm not sure if I can go on any longer, but if you guys want to learn more about the books that I have on my shelf, feel free to ask, and maybe I'll make a video on the books that I own. But here's another Stephen King story. My friends know that I love The Shining. It is such a cool film. It is one of my like top 10 horror movies. It's not really like a horror movie. It's kind of a, not even a thriller, but it's a very popular film, so I'm sure you know what it is. And I heard that Stephen King really hated the the movie because it was not like the book at all. I don't blame him. It sounds fair, the reasons why he didn't like it. But my friend got me this for Christmas, I'm pretty sure. It was like a gift exchange, and I'm very glad that I have this book now. I will read it eventually. Again, if you want me to go over more of the books that I own, if you're interested to see what I also read or haven't read yet, comment in the comments. I'll read all my comments because there's usually not a lot. But if somebody wants a video of that, just ask. Moving on to, let's go with movies, I guess. When I bring up movies, you know exactly what I'm going to talk about. The Cornetto trilogy. And I know I still don't have the Hot Fuzz poster framed. Hot Fuzz poster framed. I don't have it framed, but it's there, and it keeps chipping away at my brain every time I look at that blank wall. It's not like you're gonna be able to see it anyway, who cares? It's blocked by Moby Dick over here. But yes, Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and The World's End. If you want to hear me talk about those movies, you can watch my other videos. Shaun of the Dead movie review was like one of the first videos I've ever made because I actually care about that movie so much. And obviously the whole trilogy. I think all of the movies in that trilogy are great. Well, all three. Because they're so just wonderful. I relate to them in a way, not like, I've never been in a zombie apocalypse, or a cop, or a depressed goth. Well, I guess I've been depressed and goth. But an alcoholic and drug abuser. I've never been that. Never have I ever also been a British man pushing 40. But still, I relate to those movies a lot. They just speak to me. I don't know why. They're just so cool. And I love the actors. I have so much love for Simon Pegg. It's just, mwah, love him. But apart from that, we're talking about movies that we know are safe from the influence of AI. And that's obviously going to be like most movies. Like, there's not a whole ton of popular movies being made using AI right now. But let's talk about just good movies in general. And specifically, I want to talk about free movies on YouTube because I don't know what's been going on, but recently I've watched so many awesome films on YouTube for free, either posted by like YouTube themselves or just by other people. Usually before, my parents would look up a movie on YouTube and it was always some terrible recording of the screen with like subtitles in Arabic, and me and my brother were like, you don't search up movies on YouTube, you never find them for free. But now you do, I guess. And I made a whole playlist on my YouTube channel, not this one, but another one that I use for my personal endeavors, and I will go over this playlist. I called it Peak Cinema, and the first movie I put on there I actually made a review on. It is As Above, So Below. So I will go over these films that I really like, just say things that I like about them, and a lot of these, I haven't watched all of them. So the first movie, As Above, So Below, I made a video about that, separate video if you want to watch that, go ahead. Not that it's like super riveting or anything. I don't remember honestly. So I'm just gonna move on from that one and talk about SLC Punk. Wow, boy, am I glad that this movie is free on YouTube. And of course, it's free with ads. Unless you have an ad blocker. I use DuckDuckGo. I really like that movie. There's a lot of good punk and ska music in it. If you want to find a movie with good alternative music that is like from the original time period, that's really cool. And also, I feel like this movie does a really great job talking about what punk is really all about, and it approaches it very well. It's kind of an emotional movie, and it's very fun, entertaining, and super cool. Watership Down, yes, it is called Watership Down. I also have that saved in my playlist. Wow, what a beautiful movie. I watched a review about it quite a long time ago, and then I actually watched it, and it was amazing. It has that old-timey, sort of old-timey, like 80s. I'm not sure when this movie was made, actually, the 80s, 70s, somewhere around then. But it's a bit tragic, and it's a bit sad, but it also has that whimsical, magical, animal, anthropomorphic creatures feeling. A lot of old people probably have already seen this movie. So I'm going to move on to Clue, and after that I'll just pick out a few movies that I specifically like, and then I'll list some of the other ones that are on here. Clue, very popular movie. Oh, most of these are very popular, but maybe haven't seen. Clue stars Tim Curry, great actor. Very interesting movie, some weird jokes in it, but overall it's pretty fun. Funny movie. Then we have Monty Python and the Holy Grail. If you haven't watched that, I'm so sorry, you have to. Tank Girl, I called my history teacher that once, and he got very sad. It's a fun movie. It is rated R. There's a lot of rated R movies actually here. Donnie Darko, the theatrical cut. Donnie Darko, beautiful film. So weird, so absurd, and I really like it. I also saved some like edits and plays on here. Then I have All Quiet on the Western Front, 12 Angry Men, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, which I watched recently, pretty good. Labyrinth, which I have not watched yet. A couple of plays. Seven Samurai, which I have not watched it either. It's 3.5 hours long, wow. Then a documentary, a Connecticut Yankee, King Arthur's Court. That is another book I read, and I found this cartoon. I have not watched it yet, but I really want to. The Devil and Daniel Johnston. It says PG-13. I don't know what it's about. Hopefully it's good. Another edit. Westworld. Don't know what that's about either. Some kind of western, I'm guessing. Beyond the Woods. It's showing that I have seen this, but I don't remember that at all. Carrie, another Stephen King based movie. Really good. Love it. And then a Russian one, which is called V. It's not from the YouTube movies. It's from a separate channel. Russian movies are always free on YouTube, but it is based on this horror novel and very interesting. And I'll try to link some of these movies if you want to check out some of them. Mike Mignola, I think I'm pronouncing that right. Drawing Monsters. I don't know if this is a movie or a documentary, but it looked cool, so I saved it. Koya Niskatsi. It is an anime, which I'm pretty sure it's an anime, which I have not watched yet, but it looked very interesting, and so I wanted to. And then finally, The Fifth Element. Oh my goodness, what a great movie. All of these movies are free on YouTube with ads, unless you have an ad blocker. And there's so much more that I just haven't saved yet, and or I haven't watched yet. And if you want to find something to watch but you don't know what, go on YouTube Movies, go to the free section, and you'll find a bunch of stuff there. I think that's really cool that they have that on there. And I keep seeing more and more movies. I was about to watch Full Metal Jacket. Again, don't know what that movie's about. I haven't done background checks on any of these movies that I viewed, which is cool. I like that because I'm not going in expecting anything, and then I just receive an experience, and I think that's very neat and awesome. To finish off this movie section, I'll just say some of my favorite movies. Obviously, the Cornetto trilogy. I put that as my top one because I can't decide which movie I like the most. They're all very good. And then I can't like I would have to have a separate video to rank all my favorite movies, but The Thing is definitely up there. There's a bunch of horror movies. The Shining, Carrie might be up there too. Now I can't think of anything. It's always like that when you have to think of things that you like, you can never think of any of those things. But of course, Sherlock Holmes. Hot take, not a hot take, this is just a fact. The Russian Sherlock Holmes, best one. Nothing tops it. It is just so, so good. Finishing off the movie section, I will go on to games now. Probably not going to be a ton, but it's not as much about specific games as the topic overall, and then I'll finish it off with some of the art that I've been doing. So I showed a game that I just had pulled up, and it is called Grim Soul. So I have this iPad now, which is awesome. I can be an iPad kid all I want now for 7 hours a day. Oh, by the way, check out my wallpaper. Hold on. There we go. Guess who that is? Tim Robbins, I think is his name, the actor, for Andy Dufresne. Great movie. But I decided to go on the App Store to find some magic and witchcraft related games. Not like actual witchcraft, but just like magical, whimsical games, because I love that stuff, especially during the summer. I don't know, it's just different. It hits different. And I downloaded quite a few games, not all of them were great, but 2 games that I really liked. Grim Soul and Olivia the Witch's Magic Shop. 2 very different games, but they are so cool and interesting. I'll go over Olivia the Witch's Magic Shop first. It's kind of a sort of a mobile game. You don't have to have an iPad to play it, and it's got this very cute art style. This is the menu screen, kind of, and you have these different rooms. There's this room, the shop itself. You have a kitchen. You have your garden, and the game does have a few bugs, but they're not major. And it's got a very cute art style. I love it. The idea of the game is that you go into your garden, you collect ingredients, and out of those ingredients you make potions and then send them off to people. And also you can bake pies and send them off to people. The concept is very cute. Everything in this game is just very adorable. I really like it. It's great to kill some time. The other game, Grim Soul, wow. I don't know, how do people make that? Like, how do people do these kinds of like art, this art style, this video game art style, mobile game specifically? So this game is, I think RPG is what you would call it. The plot, there's a lot of plot to this. There's these letters, these scrolls that you can collect to learn more about the plot, which I think is cool, collecting things to figure out what's going on in this world. And basically you're this character, you have your own little base, and there's this big map with a bunch of different places you can go to collect materials, to upgrade your house, to make weapons, and a bunch of monsters you can fight. And it's got this like kind of vintage, I don't want to say vintage, but it's like kind of an older game feel. It's not particularly like very high res, cool graphics, but it's really fun and entertaining, and I think the mechanics are cool. The plot is interesting. You get to fight these like, there's so many different monsters, but most of them are like these undead creatures, either wolves, bears, or all these different kinds of zombies, and there's boss fights too. I think it's a very classic, very well-known kind of video game genre. Maybe not as well known as like first-person shooters, but nevertheless, I just love games like these. There's another game that I really like. It's called Vampire Origins, I'm pretty sure. Something like that, I might be wrong. But it has that same kind of vibe to it. I kind of like Vampire Origins a little bit more just because of the plot. The plot's just a little more interesting, and there's different, it's just slightly different. But both of these games are really cool, and I just love all the fighting stuff. The fighting actually in Vampire Origins is a little bit different. It's kind of like in Undertale, where you walk up to a character and you get into this cutscene of like, here's you on one side and then here's your enemy on the other, and you have to press these buttons. In this game, however, fighting is just like, hiya, and you stab people. It's pretty fun. Both of these games have very fun mechanics, very interesting. I've said these words so many times already. I'm so sick and tired of them. But you get my point. There's so many garbage, terrible games in the App Store right now, and I feel like mobile games, but none of them are appealing. Like, you get bored of them easily, or they're just too many ads. These games definitely 100% are so much better than all these other trash games that also happen to sometimes involve AI, especially in advertising. Oh my goodness, the amount of times I've seen AI ads for games. If you can't even afford to make a real ad, I'm not getting your stupid game. But yes, if you want to kill some time on your phone or iPad and you don't know what to do, apart from Sudoku or Solitaire, you can play either Vampire Origins, Olivia, Witch's Magic Shop, or whatever that was called, and Grim Soul. Wonderful games. I love them. Last thing I'm gonna talk about to finish off this video, it's kind of getting really long. I thought I was gonna end this much quicker, but maybe it's good that it's a long video. Also, look who's here. My cat. Hi, Keisha. Keisha! To finish off this video, I want to talk about some of the art I've been doing. There was an incident recently where my mom asked me to paint her, and I hate drawing or painting people because either I hate it or somebody else hates it, or they make fun of it, which I don't like. If I drew you or painted you and I'm giving this to you for free, you better not complain about it. Just accept it, okay? I'm doing this out of the goodness of my own heart. Don't break it, okay? But my mom asked me to draw her, and I explained to her, I don't really like doing that because then people complain, oh, why does it look like that? Why did you use these colors? Why is there no depth? Are you gonna color it later? No, it's a sketch. It's a sketch. It does not need color. My life does not need color. But she insisted, and then she sent me a photo of this watercolor or gouache painting of her on the beach with our dog Fina, but it was an AI generated photo. And I asked her for the original, and I decided that I was going to paint it because there is no way an AI is going to make pictures of my family and my dog, distort and just mulch these family pictures. Nuh-uh. I'm going to do that. So I took the time to paint her. First time I failed because I'm not used to using gouache or watercolor, not my favorite things, but they're kind of satisfying to paint with if you know how to do it. The first time I tried, it did not go well, even though the sketch was really nice. It didn't go so well. So I did it another time, and I was pretty satisfied with the result, and I thought it looked very pretty. My mom looked great, my dog looked adorable, And so I went into her room while she was at work and I put it on her vanity. And then nothing happened. It was like 2 days passed. She didn't say anything about it, even though there's no way she didn't see it. So I come into her room. That drawing is still there in the same spot. And I ask her, hey, what did you think of my drawing or painting? And she pauses and she's like, and I know. My face just drops. I knew this would happen. I knew it. I should have made her promise me that she would not criticize or make fun of the painting that I made for her, of her, that I took the time out of my days, multiple days, to make this, and then she says that she looks like a man in it. No, first of all, you don't, and second of all, I'm sorry, that's just how you look. That's how the reference photo looked, and that is, I tried to the best of my abilities. Sincerely, I thought it was great. I was very proud of that painting, and she did not like it. So I showed it to my brother and my dad and asked them if it looked like she was a man. They said no. So I gave it back to her and I was like, well, I didn't give it back to her. I said, I'll just go ahead and try to fix it, I guess. I didn't say it like that. I was just like, I'll go fix it. And she's like, well, what can you fix about this? I'm like, I don't know. And then she keeps just blabbering about it, and so I give it back to her. I'm like, fine, whatever. And I go back to my room very upset. Just all the discourse related to AI infiltrating my family made me so mad, and that specific incident made me so furious that it inspired me to make more art. I've been a little bit lazy, especially because of school, but now that school's over, I have so much free time to make stuff, especially videos too. I'm so glad I have ability to make videos again. But over here are some more paintings that I did of Merlin and Arthur from the show Merlin. And of course, again, my mom had to come in and say they don't look like them, even though she didn't even pay attention to the show when she watched it with us. And I guess that's fair. They don't look perfect, but you can still tell who they are, right? Come on. And of course, I have more stuff up here. My Peter Murphy, my Victor Tsoi. That's actually a very old drawing. Very old drawing that I did a while back. The picture of Lex Luthor up there though is pretty recent. I did something new. Tried this paper cutout collage thing. It was very fun. I like doing that. And I actually started a new project. It's a very small one, but it's very pretty, I think. Let me show it to you guys. It is not yet finished, but it is, this... When I show it to the camera, it looks very much like a kid. Little kid did this. Okay, this is not the easiest thing to do. Okay, especially when the paper is like bending and warping like this, it becomes really complicated. And also, I'm just eyeballing all of this. I'm not measuring anything, so I mean, this is not too bad for eyeballing, right? So it's supposed to be like a stained glass window. I think it looks pretty cool. Something I wanted to talk about a while back when I made that video about coming back was these posters. That poster right there, that trash bag, and the other one over here. Let me take those off the wall and show them to you. Okay, these art projects that I did are proof that you really don't need AI to do artwork for you. You can just steal other people's. I'm just kidding. But I'll show you the one I made first. That was a little more experimental. I wasn't sure what I was doing, but this is an Abercrombie and Fitch bag that I don't remember where I got because I don't shop there. Never have, I don't think. But I thought Abercrombie, like zombie. And I was just gonna leave it as zombie without the S. But then I realized zombies and filth would be kind of sick and cool and totally punk. On the back you can still see the original, and this is what it looks like now. So let me just explain what's going on over here. Obviously most of this is printed. The letters, I cut them out. Little tip if you're looking for Z's in magazines and newspapers and you can't find any, just get an N and flip it over, or with a M or W you can do that too. And I covered aber with a caution sign. I do have a colored printer, which I realize most people might not have, but I wanted the colored printer really bad for different arts and crafts. If you don't have one, you can always just spend some time with paper and colored pencils making your own little signs. And obviously it's a bit painstaking, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Like this isn't perfect, but it's very pretty nevertheless. These photos I got off of Pinterest, and these signs too, I found them on Pinterest. For these like screws and stuff, you really don't have to print those out. You can just draw them and then cut them out, or something like that. You know those paper, the hole punchers, you can use that to make like little screws. Just draw a line through the circle and it looks like a screw. So I added those and different nuts and bolts and warning signs. All I want for Christmas is a zombie apocalypse. So true. And then I put some white paint on my hands with a thin layer so that it's not covering anything really. And I just went in and, you know, did that. And I think this looks very cute as a poster, and since it's a reusable bag, I can just carry stuff around in it until it breaks. It's not particularly expensive to make. This is all just garbage. I mean, you could, I think libraries have printers actually, so you could go to a library. Libraries are free, and you could print something there and make one of these. And now the other one I only have two right now. It is this H&M bag, and it says "with love H&M," but there's this giant gap between with and love, and I felt like that was intentional. So I put with $3.99 love, which I thought was hilarious because H&M is not a brand I like anymore. I don't support them anymore unless they're in like a Goodwill, then I'll buy it. But they are a fast fashion brand. Fast fashion brands are not only online, they're also stores, in-person stores, so I tend not to shop there anymore. But this is all just trash. These are all like random coupons. This is, I don't even remember where this is from, but there's the, oh, this sticker right here, and there's a few more of these. These are very old stickers that I got from Temu ages ago, and they're a bit hard to see, which is kind of symbolic if you think about it. They're these stickers from a terrible terrible brand, terrible company, which are just plastered on there as trash, covered with more bits and pieces of trash. Goodwill's not really a trash store. Don't think about it that way. One man's trash is another man's treasure. So yes, these are all things I just picked up from places. In the corner over here is this little thing that says "Have you seen me?" which is also kind of symbolic and a bit sad. So these bags are a cool opportunity to make your own very it doesn't have to be with a message or anything like this second one that I have. It can just be like the first one that I made with cool zombies on it, or just anything, especially if it has some text on it. I think it's cool to play around with it, maybe cover up some of the letters and try to rearrange some stuff and make it look like it says something else. And I think it's cool because it's kind of like recycling. You're using trash to make art. I think that is one of the coolest things that you can do. You take trash and you make art of it, opposing to AI, which takes art and makes trash out of it. So I will also I'm planning to make a video making a third bag. Over there you can see a bag that I got when I dyed my hair. You can see it's pink, but my hair dyes in there, and I'm thinking of making something with that as well. Also, neat little detail, that bag with the newspaper from Harry Potter. I saved it because it looks pretty cool. It's from the Warner Bros. Harry Potter Museum in London. Yes, London. Not London, but in England. But yes, I think that is just such an easy piece of art you can make that does not involve AI whatsoever. It's also very relaxing to do it, and just the thought of making something like this is so pleasing. I don't know what it is about it, but I like this a lot. Wow, this video is long. I have not made a video this long yet, I don't think, but if you liked it, leave a like. Obviously, you've heard this a bunch of times. I'll try to link as much stuff that I can in the description, just like the movies and games and whatnot, everything. If you have any ideas, like art related or movies that you like that are free on YouTube, or you can just pirate, not that I condone that, but I do. If you have any more ideas that you could add to this video, or maybe something that I could talk about, go ahead and say it. Say whatever's on your mind. I am glad to listen. Hopefully you finished this video. Hopefully your attention span isn't completely boiled by everything that is on the internet right now. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it from the bottom of my dark, withered heart. I will see you very, very soon. Everberkins, over and out.